Hello everyone, my name is AJ and welcome to my first ever ride-along video. I've seen other people do this on YouTube before and I kind of like this idea of competing in a race and then watching it back myself and then kind of go over it. I do this naturally, I go over it in my head, so I might as well bring you guys along and tell you what I'm thinking or what I was thinking in the moment. I gotta be honest, I'm not so great at doing that in the moment. I'm pretty quiet when I'm racing. I'm focused in the zone. So I think this is a good way to break down what I was thinking, and preparing my moves, my pit strategies, and just what was going on through my mind throughout the race. And I had a pretty big race a couple weeks ago. It was the Iracing Indy 500. I did participate in the fixed Indy 500 the weekend before that and did pretty well, and decided to partake in this one, and it was a pretty big one, so I thought this would be a good one to do my very first ride-along video. Goes well, hopefully I'll do more of these. Mainly IndyCar and Indy Lights, Indy Pro 2000 cars is what I like to drive, so hopefully you enjoy. So quality on this one might not be too great. I am watching back my Twitch stream from the race, from the live race, so that's where this is from, but hopefully next time I'll be a little more prepared and save the iRacing video for you. So I'll try to put in timestamps so you can skip along. If you don't like what you're seeing, I'm also going to skip along through some of the boring parts of the race. So hope you guys enjoy. Let's see where we're at here. So we're still in warm-up. This is still practice. Still practice. See, I'm doing this in one take. I'm not an editor at all. Alright, here we go. So, I didn't qualify, which really hurt. Really creates, or can create for an unpredictable race. I was technically in the 7th split, but from what I saw on the iRacing, I'm in a strength of field of 2,600 there, so the guys I'm facing are pretty good. I was number 20, so that's naturally where you'll start if you don't qualify, even for a special event like this. So yeah, let's watch the first few laps and see how this goes. I know starting in 20th, starting in 20th, man, it's hard to pass here, so you want to do what you can on the starts and restarts, but you also know you're in the heart of it. There's a lot of people behind me. There's 13 guys behind me, and there's 19 guys in front of me. So I'm right in the middle of it. So the main goal is just to stay clean. You just want to stay clean these first few laps and see where the race can take you.
Okay,
Alright,
get ready.
here we go. Not sure if you guys can hear my crew chief. I will turn that up a little bit. Hopefully that you can hear that a little bit.
Go, nail it.
So I'm laying back, but I don't want to be slow here. So I've got the space that I want. I see this guy's checking up. I got the inside clear. I don't know. He's really checking up. So I'm going to take that one. Like I said, I want a gap, but I don't want to be slow.
Gotcha. I'll get it right.
Make out of the first two turns cleanly. That was nice. I see the guys behind me getting a big run, and again, we just got to get through this first lap. So I see him looking there, he's looking there, but luckily he backs off. You're in a big freight train here. A lot of aero push. This car just wants to go straight to the wall when you're in a group like this. Tires are still kind of cold though.
Outside, be careful.
So I get a run on this guy. I'm looking low. He was backing up, but the guy behind me had a run as well. So it kind of all canceled each other out here. So we're going to go into turn one.
Still there. 15th place.
Just a tad too hot here. You can see I ride the little brakes there.
There, outside.
That was could have ended my race right there, and that would have been my own doing. So I had to check up there. Kind of everyone checked up there, playing nice. Everyone was playing nice. Finally up to 6th gear. Finally actually feel like you're up to speed. But you're still letting off so much here because there's so much aero push. Or wash. However you want to say it. So I'm just trying to get in line here. Big move there. Guy gets
Still
checked
there, stay
for
with
it.
them. The leader
Guy's
is just
looking
on
low.
41.1
I've got to run the guy
below.
ahead of me. You want to take what you can get, but that move wasn't there. Had to back out. Something, he's in a lot of dirty air and not liking it, so I end up getting a run here. But look at this though. This is what's crazy is I have nobody in front of me. They're all getting the draft. Look at the run that these all guys get. This is crazy. This is almost like super speedway racing or something. I get
Still there.
two cars getting me on the outside there. Now I got to check up because I can't go all the way to the wall. There's a guy on my outside here, so I know I don't have that outside lane. He's getting that run of momentum.
I'm just cruising, buddy. Go ahead and pass.
There's a second one I lose because of that.
Car up top.
And I'm losing a third here. They just have such a pull when they get behind. When they get behind those,
You're not blinking.
I'm gonna lower that a little bit. Hopefully that didn't mess that up too bad. But yeah, when you get behind these cars, you just get such a draft here. I mean, watch the speeds creep up for me here. You're getting close to 230 here. That moving the guy behind me is just not there yet. So this is the first time I actually feel like we've settled down, and I'm going to try to get in just a groove here. You know, we're 4 laps in, completing lap 4, starting 5. You know, he's kind of looking low.
That's the fastest lap of the race.
My fastest lap of the race so far. Little wiggle there. And I believe
Full course caution, be careful.
there was our first yellow. So, not going to bore you with these. I'm going to skip
Race car
along.
is out. Line up single file behind car number
And
18. We're under caution.
yes, we're under caution. So, 5 laps in, you've used a little bit of fuel. Not too much. We're in 18th. I'm not sure quite how that really worked out. I don't know if people were pitting. I'm not sure where I gained those positions. I think some people didn't start. So I may have gained a spot or 2 on that. So yeah, see some people come down pit road here. I figure we're only on lap 5. We're gonna get some more cautions.
It's all right.
1 lap to green, so I'm in 15th here. And so while you see the relatives on the bottom right of your screen, that number to the right of the names is how many laps you're currently on, or how many you have done since you have last pitted. As you see the guys 2 below me, number 22, 29, 17, they have all came into the pits, fueled up, new tires, and so they are they've only put 1 lap, so to speak, on this fuel run. So that's what that is. That is a very important piece of information, especially in such a long race like this. So here we go. We're going to go to green here. You got to be so careful on these restarts, especially I don't really know who I'm racing with yet. You know, it's only been 5 laps. These guys could be really aggressive. They could be trying to hang back. You don't really know. So I'm giving a gap here. But again, you want a gap. You don't want to be slow, though. You don't want to get past. You see everyone hanging off to the high side here.
Green, green, green. Let's go.
And that's why you hang back.
Be careful. We've got a full course caution.
So it was also a little delayed yellow there. But let's go back and see. I apologize again for not saving my replay and getting better views of this. But somebody checked up. 1 car went pretty airborne there. You get 2 cars wrecking on the left there.
Be careful, we've got a full course caution.
And that's just people riding too close to each other and getting too aggressive. We got 1 more in turn 1. Avoid all the crazies.
Race cars out. Line up single file behind car number 18.
You're riding too close, being too aggressive. Somebody kind of goes but hesitates and doesn't go, and then that checks up more people, and that's why you want the gap. So we're going to fast forward here. Again, we're staying out because that was nothing. Wait, just kidding. I said might as well get some fuel.
Speed limit is 60 miles per hour. Box in 3.
I'm pretty much just right now just trying to throw myself off of the main group's strategy.
100 meters.
fuel
50
will
meters.
come into play in this race, no doubt, and whatever advantages you can get when you can get them, try to take them. So I know after those first few laps, I saw, you know, I wasn't real fast as I avoid the guy coming into the pits. You know, I was definitely struggling in the pack there. I was not passing people. I was getting passed, if anything. So let's grab some fuel and just ride around the back a little bit and see what we can make happen. I know there's going to be more yellows, so let's avoid the yellows and just keep the nose clean. Once I pass the start-finish line, the position will reset, and we'll see where I come out in. So, same deal. Give a gap.
Green flag.
Be
We're
careful. That was a crazy late pit. That was weird. That may have been a penalty or something he was serving. You're not supposed to do that under yellow, but he got the green there. So check this. They're too wide in front of us. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it being that aggressive this early. I'm just trying to keep the nose clean. I've got Glenn behind me getting a little bit of a run. You know, I've got pretty good speed too, but he's really got to run. He's looking low, and he's going to take it. And I'm going to check up. And I really had to check up. I even hit the brakes there for him. I had to get off of it so much right there. That could have been our race at lap 13. That's twice now. We'll keep a track. 2 times in 13 laps, in the first 13 laps, that my race could have ended. First one was my doing. This one, yeah, he kind of good old slide job on me there. So that was that. We're gonna watch a little bit here. I may start fast forwarding, and if I miss something, I'll catch it. This is just still lap 2 of this run.
New fastest lap for Calero, 41.0.
Yeah, just trying to stay in line at this point. Keep it clean. 200 laps.
Hey, Andy, I'm just
That lap was at 41.9.
Right there, yeah, this guy's just cruising. See, these guys were looking kind of racy up here. Something was wrong with this guy. He was backing up. Yeah, he just missed 2 spots there. I think this was another one of those instances where I'm trying to make a pass, but they have the draft so much, I don't have it.
Still there.
Ended up making it work there. I think he had to check up, though. I mean, he gave that to me, I feel like. I don't feel like I had that move. I had the position, but I didn't have it done.
The leader's just done a 40.9.
So these guys are starting to race aggressive here. If my memory serves me correctly, something's about to happen. I see the guy behind me got a pretty good run, but he backed out of it. I'm getting real tight there.
Inside clear.
Look out. Look out. Ooh.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I'm not
Full
kidding.
course caution.
Crazy late on the call there. So let's go back. Going into 1.
16th place.
Let's go back a little bit farther. Here we go. So you can see these guys already diving way low. One guy I think was making a move or defending. I'm not sure. That was a late move to go low.
There, inside.
He knew he didn't have it done. And so what happened here was that white car, that third car in line, got low and just got a little loose. That little twitch right there sent him to the wall, and that car in front of me, Glenn, number 17, he had nowhere to go. Yeah, that's why he was upset about that. One more time, keep an eye on that white car that makes a little, I don't know, the few white right there.
16th place.
In the middle. And he gets a little wiggle there. You see the smoke, then jolts right to the right. That is an overcorrection. You're going to the left. That back end steps out. Your hands go to the right to catch it, and it grips up and it sends you right to the wall. That guy had no room. I was pretty lucky here to avoid this. It was right in front of me, and that 17 was going straight. I had to go to the left. If I would have went to the right, it was a good chance that he could have taken me out.
17.
So boom, 3 times. 3 times in 16 laps that I have avoided carnage already. Yeah, too early to pit still. Only used up 3 gallons there. Not worth pitting there. So this is when things kind of get interesting and it can get kind of fun. You know, I know I'm off strategy, and what that does is it pretty much what that does is at one point in the race, I'm going to be up front, but then I'm going to need fuel. And then I'm going to have to come and get it, and then there's going to be a new group of drivers that are going to be in front, but they're going to need fuel before I do. And so that is kind of going to be shuffling out throughout the entire race. And so, for instance, the two guys in front still haven't pitted at all. The guy in front of me pitted one lap before me, and the guy behind me is actually a few laps after. So I know 1 or 2 laps sound small now, but when after you've done 3, 4, 5 fuel runs, it starts to really add up. It's interesting. It's interesting now because I'm going to be in 4th, and this is going to be the cleanest air I've had all race. So we're going to see the true pace of my race car and see what this thing can do. 4th is still pretty dirty air, but it's better than being 15th or 20th.
I've raced with Glenn for years. He's a good guy. He's never paid me that money to borrow.
Guy gets the jump there. They get a pretty good jump. He's already snaking, trying to break draft on lap 1920. And so this setup, I've never raced with this setup before, VRS setups, and I didn't get much practice in, maybe 15 minutes, and I didn't get much group racing, nonetheless a fuel run. So I knew I felt really, really comfortable by myself, and that the car would do whatever I want by myself, and it felt really good. But I didn't know what it felt like in traffic or what it felt like in a, low fuel. After I've ran 25 laps or so, and I only have like 2 or 3 gallons left of fuel, I didn't know what that would feel like yet.
43.2.
So I know now, but as we're watching, my pace actually picks up later on, and what I came to learn was this setup is really set up for that last like 9 or 10 gallons. Once I hit about half a tank,
The gap behind is now
the car felt so much better. The balance felt better. I felt like I could pass, and I felt like I had speed by myself. But when it was fully loaded, it sure felt fully loaded, and I couldn't really do too much. I mean, I'm pushing it right now with these guys, and I really couldn't catch too much. I have more fuel than they do, but I have better tires, hopefully-ish. Not really. We ran a lot of yellow laps there, so not really. But, I'm not losing them, but I'm not catching up to them. Let's skip along a little. There's another yellow. So we've had a few yellows there. Lap 25. Nope, nobody came into pit. We're going to keep going forward.
We're racing.
Sorry, there we go. We're going back green here. And same deal, I'm not really racing them. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with them, but we're still 30 laps into this race, 28 laps into this race, not trying to do too much. I mean, these guys are fast. I don't want to be doing what they're doing right there. It's not worth it. If someone had to run on me, you're getting it. I mean, and if I got to run on you, I hope you're giving it to me. I ain't going to fight too hard for it, but
Got a full course caution. Watch out.
see, this is why you don't want to race that hard. You're getting yellow after yellow.
I appreciate it.
I know they were still staying out, but I wasn't doing too much.
Box in, 3,
And I felt like
meters.
we're on lap
We think we'll need
30.
to stop again.
Hopefully some of the crazies
100
are
meters.
starting to get knocked out
50 meters.
in these yellows. I'm kind of buying, or I'm kind of bidding on a green flag run coming up here. That would be what I would like. No guarantees, obviously, with how many yellows we've had, but just doing some longer races in these Indy cars before, it'll teach you. Oh, okay, here's kind of interesting. Yeah, pit road was closed right there, and I'm not sure if I would have gotten a penalty for that. As I'm going down, you see that says pit road is closed, and so that green cone, if I would have passed that green cone before that said open, I probably would have gotten a penalty there. I didn't lose any spots there, so I didn't mind doing that, but that was, yeah, glad I caught that. As I was saying, these Indy cars are hard to handle, and in the beginning of some of the races, they really, there'll be a lot of cautions, and some of the people that don't know how to handle them, they'll get knocked out in those. So getting ready to go green again on lap 31. We find ourselves in 14th. So I was running in 4th, not making up too much ground on the leaders. I was just riding around. I did the same thing like I did when I pit on the second caution. I'm just trying to throw myself off strategy and see where that can take me.
It is what it is.
So right here, there's a true gentleman.
27 staying low.
So he is staying low. So the reason you see everyone really high to the right and next to the wall is because you cannot pass someone on the inside before you cross the start finish line.
Green, let's
If
go.
you pass someone on the right, like I'm doing to this guy, that's deemed legal and okay. So that's why you see people hanging off to the right, so no one can pass them until the finish line, and they might do as they please. But if you were to dive down on someone to the left, this guy gets a huge run. Have no idea where it came from. I'm so glad I saw it before he was there, because, yeah, that was crazy. Kind of caught me off guard there. And here comes Glenn. Already been in one wreck.
Still there. Hold on.
He's a lap down, sending it on me. I'm not risking it with these lap cars.
Behind is now 0.9.
So I'm still in 14th. You know, those two cars passed me, but they not for position. Randy is about a second behind me, so he's not pressuring me. These guys, that was another lap car. So we got 3 lap cars in front of me. What am I going to do here? I would love to get by them, but they weren't making that easy. They're racing for themselves, rightfully so. I've got to run on this guy. Let's see if I can get it done here. Yeah, looks like he backed out, but not too much. But I end up avoiding him. So, not for position, still in 14th. We're going to fast forward a little bit. Riding around. Still riding around. Now I'm kind of checking my mirrors now and seeing that number 12 is getting closer. Haven't seen his name that much. He's kind of on my tail now. I'm still following these 2 lap cars though. I'm saving fuel, but not trying to be too slow. You know, I'm trying to keep my pace up. I'm not pushing it crazy hard though. Let's fast forward some more. Finally, get a run on the lap car. The gap between him and Glenn, the number 17, was large enough that kind of canceled out his run. He wasn't getting that draft anymore, and I did. So that's what carried my momentum through and into turn 1. Salva followed me. He seemed like he could really follow really closely without getting too much aero wash. I struggled following. It was hard for me to follow a group of cars. So let's fast forward some here. Still in 14th. Looks like one guy came into the pits there. So we missed one. Or we picked up one.
41.3. Good lap. That's your best in the session.
So we're in 13th. So like I said earlier about having this setup, and so I haven't really realized how good I am yet when I get to about 10 gallons. I'm still kind of feeling the car out.
P12. Your lap time was at
So
41.5.
Casey came into pit number 7. I think those are the two guys that hadn't pit yet, and so wow, 42 laps. They went 42 laps with all those yellows before they had to pit. So let's fast forward some. We're in 13th or 12th, I believe. Yep, we're in 12th because of those two guys that came into pit. Still behind number 17 though. We're fast forward some. We're still in 12th. We're gonna keep fast forwarding here because we're pretty much just riding around here. I'm finally to about a half a tank here.
Thank you.
Car starts feeling really good here. In the corners, starting to follow people, the balance just started feeling better. I even catch myself off guard there a few times where I was anticipating a tight car, and to use NASCAR terms, and it ended up being loose. I was anticipating understeer, and I was getting oversteer. And once I could mentally and physically adjust to that, a loose car is a fast car, is what you'll hear a lot of the times. And that's what the car was doing. It was getting looser, it was getting faster. Following people still isn't easy, but as you can see down the straightaways, I was getting better straightaway speed, it felt like. And fifth gear just seemed to really start grabbing better for some reason. I know that probably sounds weird, but fifth gear really seemed to pull better once I got about a half a tank run in. So still 12 laps, or we're in 12th position. We're on lap 49. Look at Glenn there, number 17 getting around number 14 of Andrew. So I see Andrew is on a few lap older tires than I am.
P10.
So I know he's going to have to pit before me. But Salva, number 12, is going to be pitting probably around the same time I am. He's a lap younger tires than mine. So just trying to stick on the back of Andrew here. We see that Glenn gets by. We're in 11th here. Looks like someone came into pit as well. So this is exactly what I was looking for when I came into pit. I started this on a full fuel run here, and we have not had a yellow that entire time. So I'm 21 laps in. I should still have about 12 laps to go. But essentially, everyone in front of me will have to pit before me because I was the first person in that line that came into pits on the last caution. The guys behind me are on similar strategies if they came into pit as well, but I'm ahead of those. So we've worked our way up to 10th because of that. We're going to skip some here. We're still following along Andrew. And at this point in the race, you kind of start to recognize and remember the people who you're racing, so to speak.
Your last lap time was at
So I've been around Andrew this whole run, and I've been around Salva. Almost ended my race right there. Number 4, that would have been my second. The second time it would have been my fault though, but luckily we checked up enough. So Salva and Matt, so number 12 and number 6, and number 14 of Andrew. I just, this last 23 laps, I've been around them a lot. So you just start to remember that kind of thing in a long race. More people are pitting.
P8.
We're working our way up. Crew chief says P8. Relative says 9th. More people are pitting. And I should still have about 8 laps to go on this fuel run here. As you can see on the bottom right again, but to the left of the relatives, that is my fuel. The most important one I'm looking at right now is where it says last, and that means the last lap I used 0.6 gallons, and at that rate,
All right, AJ, you're gaining on the guy in front.
I will be out of fuel in 7.8 laps, which the important time to look at that is when you cross the finish line. So I'm going to cross the finish line with about 7.5. Or 7.8, I guess I should say. 7.6, so I should have 7 laps left on this fuel. I know Andrew has to pit before me. We're getting on this lap car here. Yeah, I'm checking up
You've just
here.
done a 42.8.
Number 12 seems to be pretty content following me so far. I definitely see the run coming here though, because from this lap car, so I'm going to take that.
Car high.
So we're going to fast forward here. Andrew is now your race leader. I'm in second place.
Okay, AJ, you got about 4 laps of fuel left.
And I have about
That was 41.9.
4 to 5 laps of fuel left. We're going to fast forward to, well, we'll back up. Right there. Andrew goes into the pits, and lap 58 is the first lap that I lead. First lap. Did I say that like there was
3
more?
laps of fuel remaining. That lap was a 41.3.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's your best lap in this session.
It is my best lap in this session. So now I'm pushing, all right? I know I've got a little bit of fuel, so there's no point in saving. I just want to go all out. I want to take the advantage of having low fuel and the speed that brings and use that. So I'm all out here. I'm flat out. No lift. I'm in 6th gear, so I'm not trying to pull too hard, but I'll still get the speed at the end of the straightaway here. Number 12 seems to still be staying out. I've gained a little bit. I put a little bit of a gap in between me and him thanks to those lap cars and the timing I got around them. So I should have a couple more laps of fuel here. We're gonna lead a few laps here. And I don't want to gamble. I don't want to run out in this early. We're not even halfway through the race, so I'm not trying to push it to E. You know, I don't want to be putting down pit road on fumes. So I'm gonna bring it in here. Seems like everyone else is doing the same that were on my strategy. Actually, number 12 stayed out.
100 meters.
Ooh, looks like Matt did too. So number 24, number 6 stayed out as well. So we come in nice and slow, no mistakes, 8.7 seconds. Let's get back out there, and let's see how many more laps we can get under. So number 12 still hasn't pit, but I came out well in front of him, so I don't go a lap down. I'm pretty much in the exact same place I was when I came in. Number 17, the lap car of Glenn, is still ahead of number 14 of Andrew, and they're pretty close. And I'm, 2.1. 2 seconds, but that's not too bad considering coming through those pits like that. So we'll fast forward,
The gaps now.
put some laps under our belts. There comes the number 12 out of the pits, so it looks like we filter out to, I believe I'm in. Oh wow, some more people came into the pits there. So it looks like it filtered out into 13th. These guys are still playing, and I'm in my mind thinking I want to save fuel. You know, that's still a big part of this race. You know, there's still a lot of racing left to do, and I want to be there at the end. So I'm going to save the fuel to hopefully put me up front late in the race. You know, if I really felt like I had this speed, I would definitely try to go around them. But I felt like their pace was good enough that me saving was a better advantage than trying to outdo them
41.6.
on speed. We're going to fast forward here. So this is the first time I thought that the 12 was looking aggressive, and he was just getting close, and he was staying close. And I couldn't do that easily. So for me to be doing what I was doing here, I felt like it was pretty challenging, and I didn't have the space for a move. He definitely had to check up there, and saved my butt. You know, I had to check up for them, and he seems like he had a better car in traffic than I did. So, oh, sorry there, yeah. And this was, I don't know how he did this. I was checking up, and I just felt really tight there, and I felt like I was going to go into the wall anyway, and he ended up going outside and just kept that momentum. Don't know how that happened, but I figured, well, he's quick, let's stay behind him. You know, if there's one thing I've learned over racing is if you're
14th.
not quick,
You've just done a 42.6.
look at the people who are, and if you can follow them, you'll learn something. So let's follow them, follow along, skip a little bit. I'm not going to skip too much. There is an incident coming up, but I do want to just kind of hang on the back of the 12 here, you know, catch that draft. You know, see, I'm getting good runs into the turns here, but those turns I'm really checking up. Passing a lap car on the inside there.
Ahead is increasing.
They're
It's
pulling
now
away just a
0.9.
little bit. It's not easy to follow
That
here,
lap
and
was
he's
at
really trying to run that
42.0.
outside line. We're going to skip along a little bit here. Something happened here. Oh, he just went for a move, and they all had to check up. I think 12 almost put it in the wall, so I have a big run here. This is
41.4.
Outside, be careful.
risky business right there. They almost sent it 3 wide, and he had to back out so much that my run,
Carlo.
that I had to take that run. Well, what happened was that run gave me the confidence,
That was 41.4.
and I didn't realize how dirty of air I was in. So I'm low here. I'm too low, actually. Back end starts to slip. Big moment there. Almost gets ran over. The guy, I mean, I don't know how he didn't get into me there. I mean, that was almost as much on thanks to him as thanks to the save of me that didn't put us both out of the race right there. I mean, I could have very easily lost it and taken us both out, and he could have very easily not checked up and went straight over the back of me. So 5. That's, I think, 5 incidences now where very easily could have ended this race. Skip along here because that was a Code Brown moment, and I don't want many more of those. So let's just ride around for a bit. I know this is a long video. Most of the action is in the first 100 laps.
Watch out.
We get a yellow flag here, so that's we go about 1 full fuel run and a half. Looks like someone's wrecked it down there on the low side. So I'm in 12th when this yellow flies, and we are just started lap 79. All of that strategy kind of goes out the window when you get a yellow flag like this in the middle of the race, because good chance everyone, as you see, are going to come down pit road.
The leader's pitting now.
Except that must have been the lap car trying to get his lap back.
Speed limit in the pits. Box in 3.
So right here, all that strategy gets wiped away and marked back to 0 here. Everyone is on the same amount of fuel, same amount of fresh tires.
100 meters. 50 meters.
So we're going to skip along here. Not sure if anybody actually did stay out there. We filter out into 14th, so if they did, only 1 or 2 people did. So we're about to go green again on lap 82.
P13.
So it looks like we're in 13th here. We'll watch the first lap or so. I get a big run there, but I shifted kind of early. First lap pretty clean. So cautions breed caution. So that's kind of what I got in the back of my head. And if we just had the one, we get all bunched up again. Who knows how aggressive people are going to be. It's not the start of the race anymore, but we're in the middle of it, and you don't want to be that guy that just does something unnecessary. Guy tags the wall there. This was bizarre. That guy tagged the wall pretty hard, it looked like. Enough for some smoke, and he really killed his momentum. So I've got to run here thinking he's got a hurt race car. Dude just sends it. I had to back off pretty well there to avoid that. I know he's trying to race, but That's pretty gutsy to send your car like that when you are not 100% sure if your car's okay or not. I mean, I guess he trusted it. So we're behind him, still in 13th. No big deal. We're kind of riding around, saving fuel like I'm talking about. Oh, what happened there? Oh, yeah, he does it again. He does it again right here. So, was this a lap or two later? Goes in hard, gets tight, car starts to drift up. Barely tags it, even less than it looked like the first time, but he starts spinning on the inside. He got his car on the inside, though, so there's no yellow. We're in 12th.
1.2.
We're going to fast forward here. Just trying to catch the back of the cars ahead. Again, not trying to be too aggressive, but I don't want to fall back. You know, I want to be as far up as I can, so if we can catch him like we did here, I get on the back of Andrew. So, remember what I said a little bit ago? I'm starting to recognize who I'm racing around, you know, so the 14 is ahead of me. That 12 is now ahead of him, where he was behind me. So, just taking mental notes of the people I'm racing around. Number 13, he was one of the front runners, and he had a little bit of trouble, but it looks like he had gotten his car fixed. I know he was fast. We're going to fast forward a little bit here.
0.9.
Looks like we are in 11th. I think
Alright,
someone
gaining on this
pit.
car. The gap is
We're in
0.7.
10th. I believe those were the two cars that didn't pit. Well, we got another guy coming into the pits
10th
there.
Position. You've just
Oh, there was a
your
moment.
lap time was at 41.3.
Another moment right there. We're up to 6 or so. So let's look at that one. So that was very aggressive by the 12 there, going on the inside. And, I mean, he gave room, but I guess not enough. The 19 tried to turn down on him, and the 19 really almost took me out there. Saved it, though. Kept the car straight. No one behind me is pressuring. Keep on trucking. We're in 9th. For some reason, I guess, people pit.
Your lap time was 41.
We're going to fast forward. We're in 9th. Fast
41.0.
forward. I'm still chasing Andrew.
The gap in front.
We're going to keep fast forwarding here because it's a good run here. But nothing's really happening. Looks like people are pitting. I'm in 8th.
I'm trying to stay on the lead lap, so
I catch
let's not get crazy,
the
but I'm
pack
not gonna
here,
give it up easy either.
and it looks like they have all pretty much caught each other. We all seem pretty equally distanced to each other. I recognize the number 6. I've been racing around him a while. He's pretty ways back though, but still, he's about 8 seconds back. So it's still early. We're only halfway through this race, but I'm kind of saving fuel still. You know, it's a very important part of the race. So this is where, when I know I've had a few Code Brown moments already, but here comes probably the biggest one. I'm just going to let you ride along.
Your lap time was 41.9.
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck.
Full course caution, be careful.
As you can see, my reaction
Pace
below
car is out.
this reaction.
Closed. Pace car is out. Line up single file behind car number
I don't know how
14.
I avoided that or how he came back so far. He spun out and hit the inside wall and bounced all the way back to the outside wall. If I would have followed the line, there's no way I would have made it.
Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck.
Full course caution, be careful.
That was scary.
Not sure what you're
So we're halfway through the race, but I promise you we're not, or excuse me, I promise you we're more than halfway through this video, because that is where most of the action happened. and we get some pretty good green flag runs coming up. I will try to catch all the action that happens, but I am going to skip through a lot of it. So we're in 10th here. Everyone is on the same page again. Everyone came into pit, and we all got full fuel and fresh tires. So we're in 10th then, so I figure halfway through the race, this is a good point to think to myself, all right, I'm halfway up the field as well. People are tight again, though. See, on full fuel, the cars are tight, and people kind of forget that after a little while, and you can see how close a lot of these people are getting to the wall. They're really trying to send it now, and really trying to push these cars. So we're going to fast forward here. I'm in 10th. I'm just trying to stay behind, just trying to hang on. I'm in 9th to no doing of my own.
Your lap time was at 41.6.
I got these guys racing pretty hard up here. Got to let off a lot there. These when you're following these many cars like this, there's so much aero wash that it gets tight. You should know better now, though. You're 110 laps into the race. You should know that. So we're in 9th. We're riding around. Riding around. We get a position there. Seems like someone came into the pits. I think I just muttered, I'm losing a lot of time behind this guy, which is true. He's a lap car, and now Andrew is a second and a half ahead of me. So I'm kind of waiting until there's a big enough gap between him and Andrew to get a run, to try to get around him. I'm up to 7th. For some reason, people are pitting. At this point, I know when we came into pit the last time, you only get about 31, 32 laps on fuel if you're lucky. 33 if you're really saving well. So knowing that, I know 2 stops is not going to make it. But that doesn't mean you can't make it if there's yellows. Like those guys at the start of the race went 42 laps, but they had like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 yellows to help them do that. So I know 2 stops won't do it. My math is good enough that I know I'm not going to make it on 2 stops without any help. That doesn't mean you don't try, though. I'm in 10th, or I started this run in 10th, and I didn't think I had, top 3 pace necessarily. I felt like I had 10th to 5th to 10th pace speed, so I was afraid I would not be winning this straight up on pace. So I got to try something. So this whole time here, I'm saving. Even if I was to get 32 laps out of both stints, I still know that that's short, but I got to do what I got to do. I'm having a hard time passing these guys, so if saving fuel is it, saving fuel is it. Finally get close enough to this guy. I thought I was going to make a run. I think I got tight there. Loses it. It's just hard to do. It's hard to pass, especially when the car feels as tight. Right now though is when I started realizing that I think I got a pretty decent car when I'm low on fuel. I'm still skipping along. We're in 7th place here, still riding behind number 1. I should mention that too. Him being number 1, I know that he should be the best driver out here, iRating skill level wise. Doesn't mean he is, but I did trust him. Seeing that, it gave me a little more trust in his pace and speed. He was keeping up. So we're going to fast forward. We're going to skip along. Still in 7th. Looks like I've got about 7 laps of fuel left.
Hey AJ, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up.
I'm getting close to this guy. We pit on the same lap, so we should all be equal here. I see Matt's getting close to me, but not really making a move. We're going to keep fast forwarding.
We estimate 4 laps fuel remaining.
Look like a pretty big check up there. Looks like I'm in 6th because people are pitting, and I must have been saving more fuel than them.
Andy, I'm pitting this time.
Only 2 more laps of fuel.
I'm kind of trying to show this guy that I want to get around him, but he doesn't want to let me. I do get him here, though. Finally, I get a good run. Oh, this is Richard. This isn't even Mick. So, yeah, there's Mick all the way up there. So, I got one more lap of fuel.
P2, this is the last lap of fuel.
But that was kind of interesting when I heard that. I was like, okay, I'm in 2nd now. I'm going to come into pits on lap 135.
In this lap, box this
But
lap.
I was like, okay. I made my fuel run last longer than everyone except the 12.
The gap.
That made me feel good. This did not make me feel good.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 350 meters. We think we'll need to stop again. Vaughan is now in the lead. 100 meters.
As I say right there,
50 meters.
I got away with one right there. I crossed the line definitely doing 65, and I thought I was going to get hit with a speeding penalty there. I don't know how I didn't. Don't know how I didn't. I almost threw my whole race away right there to a silly, stupid mistake. So we're back at it. Back on the track. Really hoping we just go green as long as we
3
can.
seconds. P12.
Just saving fuel. This is where it get a little boring, so I am going to skip a lot. But pretty much what's happening is the things that happened in that last fuel run are happening again to a little bit more exaggerated effect. You know, if I outlasted him 1 or 2 laps, it's going to be 2 or 4 laps and that kind of thing. So people start pitting earlier in my run than previous. And so that's where you'll see I'm in 10th right now. That number will slowly start to drop. We're already in 8th. I'm following Andrew, which is great. I got ahead of Mick somehow, number 1. So I felt like Andrew and I had pretty similar pace, but I did feel like I was a little faster. So let's go. Send it.
Clear up high.
You've just done it.
That was a pretty good race for position right there. So I'm in 6th. I'm putting a little bit of a gap to Andrew. He must have been trying to save too, and I was saving, but I still felt faster than him. So we're skipping along. We're gonna skip along. We're gonna skip along. We're in 6th. We're gonna skip along because we're just running all by ourselves, saving fuel. We're in 5th now. We're riding along, riding along. We're on lap 150, so we got 50 laps to go. One more pit stop, if I'm lucky.
You're pulling away from the guy.
We're 3 seconds ahead of Andrew, so that felt pretty good. I'm watching the timing. I'm not really gaining anybody. Here comes number 7, Casey, down into the pits.
Ed is now.
I'm in 3rd here now, and it looks like the 2 guys ahead of me are practically on the same strategy that I am. Number 21 is 22 laps in. Number 12 is 21 laps in. Is the same as I am. 1st and 4th are on the same strategies, essentially. 2nd and 3rd are on their same. So here we go. Just run it empty. I want to get every little drop out of this as I can. Looks like, yeah, we're still in 3rd here.
To Lopez.
I'm just going to keep going along, keep going along, keep going along.
The gap to.
So there, it looks like the leader just came into pit there. I have another lap to go.
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
Yep, last lap of fuel.
Laps do you have to serve a meatball?
Here we go, coming down pit road
Watch your
again.
speed. Box
A little
in,
safer than
350
the previous
meters.
time. But
Please stop again to get to the end.
lap 164. 36
100 meters.
laps is
That's half a
how
gallon of fuel
long
left.
I have
50
to make
meters.
this last. 36 laps. I just did 28. Not good. math doesn't add up. 8 laps short is what I have in my head.
Temperatures are now back to normal.
I mean, if you see down there where it says last, it says 29.6 is how much it would
There's a car
expect
approaching.
me
Don't cross the white
to
line.
have
Watch your mirrors.
right now.
The leader,
29 and a half
Lopez, is pitting.
laps is how much it expects me to have before I run out.
You're gaining on
If
this
I
guy.
run the
The
way I
gap's now
just ran.
1.4.
If I do that, I'm 5 laps short. So this whole time I'm torn. I'm torn between
Now 12.
pushing and saving. My one
Yeah,
mind
bro.
says there's no way I'm gonna make it,
Inside
even
clear.
if I save like crazy. Another part of me thinks, who knows?
Gap to
I
Lopez.
just
Ahead
need
is
to
increasing. It's
make
now
this last.
4.9.
Everyone is gonna have to pit, and if I can make it so I don't have to, that's gonna be huge.
0.8.
So we're riding
is
along.
increasing
We're riding along. A few interesting things do happen here, and this is the first time you see Andy
The leader is
behind me.
pitting now.
Andy is green. He is good. He does not have to pit. He does not have to save. He pit a lap ago, and he is 2 seconds behind me, and he is moving.
Drake is now in the lead.
If I don't beat him, then I don't win. He is the only one that I know of right now that can make it the whole way without pitting. Everyone in front of me should have to pit, including myself.
8th place.
So Andy's on my tail now.
Corsa is getting
Andy
closer.
makes a
The
move.
gap is now
Well, let's follow Andy now. Let's follow him and just try to save as much fuel but not lose the gap. I don't want to fall from Andy here.
0.9.
Someone messing up in the pits there.
Almost he crashed.
We're following Andy along here. I'm going to skip a little bit. I get a good run, so I'm right on him. So I feel like I'm
All right,
quick here.
AJ,
I know
your engine
Andy's
temperatures
quick,
are okay. All clear
so
on
I
engine
feel pretty
temperatures.
quick here. If I can keep
V6.
up with him, put a little pressure on him if I can. Make him think that maybe I can make it to the end, and he might be racing the leader right here. He doesn't know how good I am at saving fuel. I mean, he should know I shouldn't be able to make it, but I'm staying on his tail. I'm not letting off. I'm not dropping anymore, because if I don't beat him, I don't win. That's my mindset. There's no point in saving anymore. I'd rather race him and run out of fuel and have to come and get some than settle for saving and then him winning and being 10th anyway. Second place means nothing. Ooh, but look at him. He got a little high there. Almost tickled the wall. He almost
Corsa
sent it
ahead
too
is
hard. I want to fast forward here. Fast forward here. So I've done pretty good job just sticking to the back of him. Just hanging on to the back of Andy. What'd he just do there? Let's go back. Lap 181. Andy goes into turn 1, sends it a little too high, has a little too much dirty air, tags the wall with his right rear. He checks up going into 2. I almost sent it into the wall because I had a lot of momentum and I got really close to him. Catch it though, get in 5th gear, get him looking low.
The leader's pitting now.
There, outside.
He's got a hurt race
Jones
car.
is now in the lead.
Hold
It's
it.
on now. I'm side by side with him. He's trying to fight
Outside
for
clear.
it. This is the first time all race that I've had a thought of, all right, game on. I know I can't make it.
P3.
I know I still can't make it on fuel, but at least the guys in front of me can't either. That's what I know. I know Andy can make it, but he's got a hurt race car. Matt, I can see Matt should be able to make it too, but he's 5 seconds behind me. That's a gap I want to try to manage.
The gap to
Keith is
Corsa
going to have to
behind is
pit.
increasing. It's now
Casey is also
4.1.
in the green, but he's 8 seconds back. So let's ride along. We're on lap 183.
Your laptop.
I'm catching Mick again. I was behind him somehow. I don't know how. We got a good group of cars in front of us here. Getting by lap cars.
You've just done a
Got a run on this guy, a lap car. He was slow for some reason.
Hold your line. Clear outside.
So yeah, Matt and Casey are in the green, but I've still got a 6-second gap between myself and them. So that, like I said, that's key. Even though they can make it, that's a good gap. So these guys are racing some reason, don't know why. So I'm trying to push, but again, save. It's the hardest thing for a driver to do is push and save at the same time. It's an anomaly. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't make sense, but you have to push but save as much fuel as you can. Shifting down into fourth right there is probably not a great idea. We got 15 laps to go, and my fuel tells me I've only got 11 to go. I've saved enough to have 4, to be in the difference of 4. You know, it was 8 when we started this, or 6 or so. Now the difference is only about 4 laps, so I've saved that much. I'm like, man, can I keep saving? I've only got 14 laps to do it, though. Let's just ride along. And I'm in third right here. Looks like 12 really pulled away. I'm really trying to keep the gap, though, between Matt and Casey at a healthy distance. I know I'm not going to make it. I know I'm not going to make it. But I've got to go as far as I can. The last 10 laps of any Indy 500 always seems to bring chaos. Real life for iRacing. So I've made my bed. I've got to sleep in it. I've put the bets in. I am betting on a yellow flag. It's the only thing that could save me here. I have to push. They're catching. They're only 2.5 seconds back now. I have to push. And it just, I have to make that decision. I'm not going to coast. If I coast, they're going to catch me. And if I push, I'm going to run out of gas. So let's push and bet for a caution. How about that, huh? I'm pushing so hard here, actually, I start catching the 12. He, I think, was trying to save to make it to the end. I don't think he could have, like me. He had 1 lap advantage, but I still don't think he could have made it at this point. So we got 10 laps left. We're going to ride along here. We're not going to skip. I'll still skip some parts if I need to, but let's watch this. I pull in within about a second of him. I'm catching him. I actually pulled away from Matt and Casey too. I'm about 4 seconds ahead of them now. It was only a 2-second gap. So I'm pushing. You know, I've said I've made my bed and I have to go all out because I know I'm not going to make it. I'm 2 laps short, almost 3 laps short.
Your lap times are improving.
Car feels good. Again, with that low fuel, the car feels good. I'm catching him. I think, you know what? I gotta go. I have to make a move.
Watch out.
And there it was.
Pace car is out. Line up
Immediately
single file behind
get in the
car
6th
12.
gear,
We're
hold
under
the
caution.
clutch,
It's closed. We think Vaughn has stacked it.
and you can't see it because my camera is over it, but I am adjusting to fuel map 8, and I am saving like crazy.
That's unfortunate for those who were doing a fuel strategy.
I was doing a fuel strategy, but I also needed that. Matt thought he could make it to the end if he held off Casey. So this just threw a monkey wrench into everything. So because I'm coasting, or because I'm in 6th gear and saving fuel, you're going to watch this last lap fuel usage number start to drop, and that is a very key number. Clicking laps off while keeping that number to a minimum is very important, and that will tell me if I have saved enough fuel or not. So I'm kind of debating here. I'm like, man, do I pit? Do I top off on fuel? How many cars are on the lead lap? What is that worth? Or do I bet on another yellow? Is there going to be another wreck? People trying to be too aggressive at the end? And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to bet on that. I'm betting that we're going to wreck again.
Jones is pitting.
Something magical just happened there too. Because I thought if I thought that way, that the people in front of me would think the same way. And I was wrong. The guy in first, number 21, and number 12, both came into the pits. I am effectively the race leader at this point.
Yeah, I was hanging out behind you.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm in the lead with essentially 8 laps to go of the Iracing Indy 500.
I wasn't trying to hold you up at all. You got there.
Let's look at the fuel again. Last lap I used 0.3. It's the first time this all happened at once. I went into the lead, and for the first time, that finish comes up as +1, not -1, 2, 3, 4, as what it had been. Incredible. I don't even know what to be thinking right now. Just save fuel, and let's hope we don't run out of fuel. Let's fast forward to yellow. We'll get to the one to green. IndyCar rules. The lap cars ahead of the leader, in between him and the pace car, will get waved around. They go to the back. And so we will get a restart with 6 laps to go. Now, this whole time I have not known what racing around Matt, Casey, and Jeremy are like. They have been up front all race, and I've been mid-pack at best most of this race. So those names I said earlier about recognizing them and who you're racing around, this is a time where the most important and critical time of the race. I don't know how these guys have been racing. So I know they're fast, though. I know I'm light on fuel. The last says I will finish in the good if I keep using that amount of fuel, but my average still says I am short 2 laps. So 3.1 gallons is essentially 6 laps. Really, to be honest, it's 5.5, because that is going to run out in the backstretch on that last lap if that's the case. I get an early jump here because I just don't want them on my back.
Green flag.
And I'm hoping for a yellow. I mean, I don't know how other way to put it. I'm hoping for a yellow.
You've got about 4 laps of fuel left.
Crew chief tells me I have 4 laps of fuel left with 6 to go. Oh. So I got a pretty good jump. I'm 0.4 ahead of Casey. Looks like he jumped mad on the start. I'm trying to break their draft a little bit. It's a little early to do that, but I just wanted the distance. He really got close to me here. Yes! Nope. Premature yes. Premature yes. We crossed the line to start lap 195.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
And I gave a little cheer because I thought that might have been the race, but I was way too early on that. But what it did do was it allowed me to save more fuel here. So I'm in the lead. That second yellow came out. I got that extra yellow. I got the first one I needed, but I needed this last one to really make sure that I could make it on fuel. So once this one flew, I knew I was in the green
Pace car is out. Pits are closed.
for fuel. I know it doesn't say that there yet, but
yellow.
when I cross the line here, I know that I'm going to start. I'll have 4 laps to go after I cross the line here. And I know I've got 2.3 gallons. Even if I went flat out at 0.6, that's going to be 0 at the line. So it'll reset right here when I cross the line right there. I need to save this lap.
Laps of fuel left.
I need to save fuel this lap and only use 0.1, which I do. And again here, when we get the one to green,
we estimate 3 laps of fuel left.
I need to save. Now here is also a mini miracle. You need the luck, and this is all luck here. We're gonna get the green apparently on lap 198. That gives us 3 laps of green flag racing. For some reason, someone was messing around in the back of this field, and they actually iRacing delays the start. does not happen very often in iRacing, but iRacing, if they sense a car is out of line or out of this or that and kind of, or just kind of spinning out of control even, they will delay the green. That's another lap where I'm only using 0.1 gallons and not 0.6 or 0.5 or 6. So that was big. So here we go. We're crossing the line again.
Okay, AJ, get
Now
ready.
we're not
Race
going
will
to get the
resume at the end
green
of this lap.
until lap
You've got about
199. A natural green-white checkered. I know I only need 2 laps of fuel to finish this race, and I have 2 gallons. That's more than enough. I'm in the green. There is not a doubt in my mind that if we finish green flag this last 2 laps, I will make it. So I know I just have to race my butt off to keep Casey behind me. Casey, I believe, has led the most laps in this race as of right now. So I'm nervous. I'm straight up nervous. You know, he's been the better driver. He's a 2.9 2900 skilled I rating. And those, I think that matters to a point. For the people that really race here and race often and race official races, those numbers do matter. If you race more league races, that might not be the case, but I do respect the high I ratings. So here we go. Green-white checkered for the Iracing Indy 500. These guys have already seen me restart twice, so they know what I like to do. I went early. This time, let's throw him a curveball. We're steadily at 75. I would have went already. I gave him a little bit of hesitation there. Not sure if it did anything.
Green,
Hopefully
let's
maybe
go.
caught him off guard a little bit. We're going to Marcus Ericsson it and snake all the way down into turn 1.
To go. Stay focused. We can win
I've got a
this.
0.2 gap to
Now in the lead.
Casey.
Only 2 more laps of fuel.
I wish it was more. We're going to snake down the back stretch. Hopefully break his toe. We're going to go into turn 3, lap 199.
Full course caution.
I'm sorry, it doesn't get old watching that. Race is over. Race is over. I only have enough fuel for this lap, says my crew chief. We get the yellow and white together. We are currently on lap 200 of the iRacing Indy 500. I really couldn't believe it. Funny moment there. Wife comes to congratulate, and I got a little nervous, not gonna lie. I said if I would have turned it or something and hit the wall, I think that would have been the end of my race. Regardless, if I'm in first right now, if I would have hit the wall, that would have been it. So we're just gonna cruise to the line here. Well, there it was. That was how I won the Indy 500 on iRacing. I hope you enjoyed this video, the first of these. It was pretty raw, just me sitting here talking about this race. Hopefully I'll get better at them, but this was such a big one, and to me, and I think to anybody that iRaces knows how important this kind of race is. So just thought it'd be kind of fun to rewatch this and share my thoughts with you guys. Maybe saving some time and so you don't have to watch the whole race. Thanks for watching. This is AJ. Have a good one.